My name is Wes Rodriguez, and you're listening to the Sink or Swim podcast. October 28th, folks. Just a few days before Halloween. Okay, so I've been focusing a lot of my attention on stand-up and comedy showcases like podcasting, the comedy specials via Netflix or YouTube and whatnot. It seems to be a popular go-to topic when comedians are sitting down and bullshitting with each other, usually on a podcast or getting interviewed on television. And more often than not, the worst story they have to tell usually stems from a heckler. And I thought it might be interesting to capture some of those and play those clips on my podcast. Well, part of me feels like that's kind of hacky to take your show and then play someone else's material instead of coming up with your own, but it's really fucking hard to come up with your own material. And this isn't stand-up comedy. This is a podcast, and it's kind of its own, like, free form. It doesn't really have its own, like, stigma. Podcasting doesn't really have a standard of what it is. Most of the successful ones are just a free-form conversation. So I study the professionals out there, listen to their routines, and hopefully I can get the gist of how to talk about what's funny, how to entertain an audience. And what I'm gathering is the secret to comedy. There's a shorthand to it that I don't quite get yet, but the gist of it is interpreting life through your eyes and putting a comedic lens in front of what you see. But the real essence of comedy is finding the truth. If you can think about things that you found truly funny, listening to comedians or hearing your friends tell you a story, the stuff that makes you laugh the most or you find humorous are things that you can identify with. You know, emotions you felt, experiences that you've been through that you will be brought back to and remembering, and you'll be thinking about how you experienced that. Always be asking what is the truth in this art? Where is the honesty in what I'm trying to create? Your worldview. Also, experiences that you've been through, you know, when you grew up, your family, your friends, and experiences that have happened to you. Storytelling. And if I keep practicing it, I might get decent at it. So that's what I'm doing here. So by being honest and recognizing that I'm a rank amateur that's fucking got no experience, I'll try to get a little practice in between and then showcase examples of real talent. So by hearing the professionals talk to each other about the business and doing stand-up and writing comedy for Hollywood, you learn about the downsides, you know, people criticizing you, critics, and then the monster that is the heckler who will do it to your face in front of a group of people. And so I've gathered a few clips and I'm going to play them for you guys. But what I didn't expect is this horrible feeling that came along with watching people get heckled on stage. So if you're an amateur starting out in the world of entertainment and you want to put together a podcast, be careful of the avalanche of hesitation and rejection that'll come along with it that you're not prepared for. These guys are on stage doing this for a living, so they know how to handle someone who's going to fucking in front of a group of people. I'm sitting in front of a microphone by myself trying to figure out how do I put something entertaining and compelling that people are going to stick around and listen to. And I wasn't prepared for the emotional rejection that I was feeling for these people that I've never met before, but I'm feeling kind of a sympathy pain, and I almost didn't go through with even putting the podcast together. You really want to sum up your dreams and hopes and ambitions and have them crushed. Yeah, focus on people who can appreciate art, can appreciate somebody putting their dignity on the line for complete strangers. But then I realized any minute pathetic feeling that I might have is nothing new to anybody that's trying to do what I'm doing at this very moment. You know, anybody who's tried to entertain an audience has felt that. And I'm in front of a microphone by myself, and there's no one to fucking criticize me. I mean, anybody can send me emails criticizing me or comments on my channel, but that's not the same as doing it in person. So it would be very cowardly to even hesitate and not keep going and not practicing. And I have too many fucking frame of references of starting something and not putting my whole heart into it and letting my hopes and dreams get crushed. I'm going to stick with this thing. I'm not going to give up. 6 months ago, I was worse than I am today. So that's got to mean I'm a little bit better. And I'm going to keep doing it, and eventually I'll hope I can get good at it. So here are some examples of the experience of being heckled. I'm going to start off with Steve Hofstetter. He's a decent comedian, but he's got a cool, calm, intellectual way of navigating through the heckle situation. There's a bunch of clips on YouTube of him just calmly picking apart and dismantling all the artillery of whoever's trying to combat him on stage. And it's admirable how he, without raising his voice and without losing his cool, and I don't think I've seen a clip of him asking the person to be removed or telling them to leave. He just crushes their soul and exposes what a terrible and small human being you are for shouting out during somebody's set. Amy Schumer conducts herself the same way. And the final clip you're going to hear is a famous stand-up show where Bill Hicks gets heckled. And Bill Hicks has tapped into a source of rage and anger, kind of like how Sam Kinison does his routine, where he's just almost, it looks like he's just livid, like he's really pissed off, and he's just kind of venting on stage. Well, Bill Hicks kind of carries that same delivery, and he channels a lot of built-up frustration and just unleashes it on this audience that's out of control. And he really even though he's shouting and cursing, he articulates some good points. Like he pretty much takes that person and bends them over his knee and spanks them on the ass in front of a large group of people, which has got to be embarrassing. So here we go, folks. Clip 1 and 2 will be Steve Hofstetter, and then Amy Schumer right in the middle, and capping it off will be Bill Hicks. La da 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 da, la da da, la da da da, la da da da.
What did you say?
Celsius, right?
Celsius up there? Well, yes, but I'm not going to tell the joke in Celsius in America.
Oh my God, I was driving. I had to go so many meters. You guys understand, right? Yeah, next joke I'll tell in French. How about that, huh? They'd understand it in Quebec. Why not down here? You want to translate the joke to the Celsius for our Canadian friends that clearly there are so many of them? I mentioned Canada, one girl went, and that was all. But thanks for pointing that out. There was a moment in his head where he's like, this is the right thing to say. Like, before it came out, we all have thoughts, and most of us just kind of swat the thoughts back. We're like, no! You get out of here, dumb thought. You stay home. He's like, oh, dumb thought. Go play. Be free. So the answer, no, not in Celsius is the answer. I know what that is in Celsius. 27 below. You're trying to figure out what it is. Good. Now so are 200 other people.
And they show us their membership cards to the KKK. Do you know there were membership cards? I didn't know there were membership cards. Your great-great-granddaddy was in it? That's not something to tell people. You came from Alabama to Indiana for the gold rush? I don't know. Just pretend. You don't have to tell. You don't have to be like, by the way, my great-grandfather would burn black people. Nice to meet you. You don't have to tell people that. It is weird, but that's your story. You can write a different one. You can be like, my great-great-grandfather was a silk trader from the Orient. He didn't know what it was in the first place. Oh, that's worse. It's worse because racist isn't hereditary, but stupid is.
My best friend, she's like, you have to have a baby one day. You'd be such a good mom. I'm like, is that a reason to do that? Like, I'd be a sweet prostitute, I think. But I'm going to sign up for those classes at the Learning Annex. This isn't a class. Do you know that? You want to know where I got my boots? Okay, they're at the corner of You Can't Afford Them and Stop Talking to Me. I'm sorry, you're right. That was fucked up. I think they're Steve Madden or Aldo or something. I don't know. But that was fun for me. I hope it was fun for you. Okay. No, I get it. That's okay. She's fine, no security. But yeah, like, you know when Bobby Fischer, have you ever seen the movie Searching for Bobby Fischer? When he's like, take the draw, because he knows he's going to win. Just remember that scene if you feel like talking again, okay? But no, that's sweet. Thank you. I also like these boots. And don't worry, I'm drunk too right now. Honestly, I am. You're in a blackout. Let's be real. All right. Let's just call it a draw.
Yeah, buddy. Thank you, man. Be my little echo. Against my mother. And, you suck. You fucking cunt. Get the fuck out of here right now. Get out. Fuck you. Fuck you, you idiot. You're everything that America should be flushed down the toilet, you fucking turd. Fuck you. Get out. Get out, you fucking drunk bitch. Take her out. Take her fucking out. Take her to somewhere that's good. Go see fucking Madonna, you fucking idiot piece of shit. You suck, buddy. You suck. I can yell at the comedian because I'm a drunk cunt. That gives me carte blanche. I got a cunt and I'm drunk. I can do anything I want. I don't have a cock. I can yell at performers because I'm a fucking idiot because I got a cunt. I want you to go find a fucking soul. Sorry y'all had to see that. this one, didn't I? Gee, Bill. You know, this isn't material you're working on for your next Arsenio spot. Gee, I haven't seen a comic, go running around the room going, I'm a drunk cunt. Is there a punchline coming, Bill? Is there a point of view there? Son, I'm going to need to feel some emotion from you.
Well, there you have it, folks. The great Bill Hicks. He's a legendary comedian, regarded in the highest by all the professionals in the business. All the top comedians look back at Bill Hicks, and he's a candle that was blown out too early, like a lot of artists. And there's a glimpse at what it's like to suffer the misery brought on by the fucking heckler. Stand-up comedy it's not as prevalent as it was in like the 70s and the 80s when there was that big boom. Anybody could have been a stand-up comic, and it's just whittled down to just the masters of it. And it's hard to make it in that business. So if, you have the guts to go up there on stage and deliver your routine, and some fucking asshole thinks that he's part of the show, hasn't got the balls to go up on stage, come up with his own act, just showing off for his girlfriend, or he's just bitter and enraged, it truly is pathetic. I encourage everybody to go out and see stand-up comedy. Invest into your local theaters and clubs. Support the comedians out there in your area, or come to your area, because the clubs are closing down. They're not staying open. You hear it from the stand-ups all the time. It's a dying art. Like a lot of art out there, music isn't what it used to be, and the fucking internet is it's killing a lot of art. It truly is. You'd think that it would be able to help expose a lot of artists and give them an opportunity to showcase their creativity, and people just find a way to steal it without having to pay for it. It's unfortunate, but people are finding a way around it, man. But still, make it a point to support stand-up comedy. Take your lady out, take your man out, grab a bunch of your friends. Don't take your slob fucking dickhead friends that you're gonna have to corral after they drink too much. You can catch a lot of the podcast recordings done at the John Lovett's Podcast Theater up in City Walk. So keep that dream alive for stand-ups. If you don't go and sit down and watch a show, it's just gonna go away eventually. And there'll be nothing but Adam Sandler movies and Eddie Murphy movies. Just aren't what it used to be. In a way, I wish they wouldn't have gotten as famous as they did, because what they were doing in front of a live audience was so much better than the crap that they're producing. I mean, I don't want to criticize, because the people are going to see their movies, and people kind of, I guess they like what they're doing, but the kind of comedy that they were making when they started out it's nothing compared to what they're putting out today. Eddie Murphy was 19 years old when he started his career at stand-up. By 22 years old, he had his own stand-up special, which he performed in a sold-out theater. That's what blew him up. Delirious. Put him on the map. And I've heard comedians that have acted in movies he's been with, and they've pressed him for information and stories of his career back when he was in Saturday Night Live, and he doesn't remember a lot of the lines and a lot of the comedy bits that he used to do in his routines during his act on stage. So it's kind of sad in a way how how media can crush the real art and squeeze it to get out only its marketing capabilities. All right, anyways, moving on. I guess we should mention Halloween. Not one of my favorite holidays. I'm not the kind of guy that likes to get all dressed up and hit the parties and stuff. Well, since I've gotten sober, parties are not a place I like to be. But it's a shame, because it's one holiday where women are allowed to be as slutty as they can all year long and get away with it. You can dress like a prostitute, and it's encouraged. It's always making for good eye candy when you go to a party. But it makes for good movies. There's plenty of good movies out there. Saw an advertisement for Evil Dead, and it looks pretty good. Although, I mean, you can't tell much from the trailer these days, and you get this false expectation of what the movie's about, and then you go see it, and you're like, fuck, there are clips in that fucking trailer that they cut out of the final edit for the movie, just to make it look, you know, like, angled a certain way. So I'm not going to jump to any conclusions, but what really sold the original Evil Dead movie and its sequels is the slapstick, the hokiness of it. It's almost cheesy in a way. Like, they let it look a little bit unprofessional and cheesy, but you can't beat Bruce Campbell, man. His over-the-top, like, action hero performance was well done. So many great one-liners in that movie. So I hope they capture the essence of that and not try to go like full, like, try to go like super high production value in the horror genre. They capture the hokiness of the original. That would be great. They, at least as an homage to the original. But we'll see. This week's going to be a short show, but I want to wish everyone out there a happy Halloween. Be safe, have fun, and do everything that I wouldn't do. My name is Wes Rodriguez. Thank you for tuning in to Sink or Swim. What's your dream?